Hi there, chaps. Well, as you know, it's me, Dan, and I've got a guest. This fellow who's called Jay. Jay, you're a local dance troupe. Do you get that anymore? It's like hi, hello, 90s.
Yeah. I kind of shot myself in the foot a little bit with calling it Just Jay Dance because like people just assume that that's all I do. But I teach dance but I'm also like a production singer and a choreographer and a DJ. So I do loads of stuff within entertainment, all surrounding it. But yeah, the name Just Jay Dance was just, it's kind of stuck, annoyingly.
But. No, it's fair enough. It's all about the branding, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Exactly, yeah.
But I think the main thing is I discovered you on, I think it was Mark Murphy's show on Radio Suffolk on the BBC or something like that, wasn't it? Where you're talking about how you've taken on some online abuse and trolls and all this. And actually, to be honest, mate, rather than you going on they need to stop, they're ruining my life and all of this kind of stuff. Because some people do, don't they? They go and they give more ammo. But you didn't. You was actually quite respectful about it and go, actually, it's not very nice. And you from memories a few months ago, you're more concerned about the kids that you teach them seeing horrible stuff.
Yeah,
and I'll give you respect on that. So I just wanted a bit of a 10 to 15 minute natter about that, really, just like the impact of that, really, if that's right with you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's I think growing up in the entertainment industry and being gay, I've nothing will be as worse as me growing up and having to deal with that from certain family members, to be honest. So strangers, to be fair, don't even hit the surface. But it's more, like you said, it's more the fact that I am very protective of the fact of the audience that I have, especially with kids and with everything I do, whether I go on holiday. I have 2 Facebooks, I have 2 Instagrams, I have 2 Twitters, because I don't want kids, seeing me, smashed in Gran Canaria. You like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm an adult and I'm allowed to get drunk and I'm allowed to, do things that I'm, consenting to do as an adult. But with some of the things that were being posted on my actual business social media with a club that isn't breaking any laws, it just wasn't on. And that's what annoyed me more than anything, because I was like, these comments you're directing, they're not nice, but it was the hearing from children, a couple of children coming up to me saying, what does this mean? And I saw in your picture someone wrote blah 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 blah, and I was like, so it just, and then try and educate them on it, why it isn't right, which is nice. It's nice that the kids are even sometimes. One particular kid said to me, why do people have an issue with it? And I was like, if only you were all like that, if only everyone was like that. But I had to be responsible.
So was that just because you put an event on during the COVID bits where you was actually allowed to do it, or was that because it was a gay club or gay?
Oh, it was the gay thing. Yeah, it wasn't. I had a couple of people saying, is it COVID safe? And then once I cleared up, which is fine, I just said, it was well within the laws. And when we first did the first night, there was no restrictions. The restrictions, it was already half capacity. We were lateral flowing. Asked people to lateral flow before they arrived, temp checking on the door, which by law I didn't actually need to do, but I still did it through my own expense. Just I wanted everyone to be safe. The abuse, it was directed specifically to the fact that it was a gay club and they didn't want this gay club in their town, which is just moronic. It was the lingo and some of the words that they were using that was clearly directed that, just like homophobic and transphobic, and just clearly someone that has got obviously a bit of a bee in their bonnet, to be honest.
So how do you? It's 2022 when we're having this conversation. It's like it's a never-ending conversation. But how did you? Because you said sorry, I'm confusing myself here. But it's just You seem pretty switched on. I must admit, obviously, because we're a charity, I always have to do my due diligence on people to make sure you're not some secret neo-Nazi and all of that. I like to just double check. No, but you always seem quite, I was going to say flamboyant, but that seemed quite inappropriate.
Yeah.
You all seem quite happy. You all seem like you generally care about other people, but in the back of your mind, I'm adding that bit in where you've gone for a whole spat of being trolled and abused online.
Yeah.
How do you keep your spirits high? Because me, I'd probably go into a recluse.
I think some of it is my upbringing. A lot of it probably is my upbringing, because I had my fair share of bad stuff happen when I was a lot younger, and I think it honestly did shape me now. That I have a lot of friends say to me, you know, I do have a lot of friends say to me, funny enough, kind of the same thing. They're like, how do you part with, you know, someone writing that about you or saying, you know, I think, like I said, there's part and parcel with being in the entertainment world. Like from a young age, auditioning and being in auditions and having somebody that you don't know literally say to you, you're too short, or you need to put on weight. Or I used to have a gap between my teeth when I was little, like in my teens. And he was like, are you going to get that fixed? And saying that to, like, you would never say that to like an employee at McDonald's or something like that. But in the entertainment world, there is a need to look and be, and, you know, so you're kind of given almost like you form a wall pretty quick. And it still hurts. It's not nice ever hearing someone say, oh, sort your skin out, or, you know, whatever it could be, you name it, they'll say it. So I think from that and my childhood, I think I just learned pretty quick that I know people say it all the time, you really can't please everybody. And there is nothing in this world, there's not one sentence that you could say where everyone would think it's true. I mean, not people think the world is flat. And do you know what I mean? So with people like that in the world, it just kind of makes you realize that you're never going to win. So you may as well, I just think to myself, at the end of the day, anyone that hates on me, they're going to die one day. And that makes me feel a lot better, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I don't know how to come back. I do not know how to come back from that one, but no, it's a valid point. It's just that thing. I've no idea the origins of it. It's the 80-20% of the rule, isn't it? You can only please 80% of people. Yeah. If you try and get in with the other 20%, you'll annoy the 80%.
Exactly, it is, and then you're lying to yourself. I would rather be you know, in a room that, you know, 8 out of the 10 people don't like me, but they don't like me because, you know, it's just something they just don't like about me that's completely true. Whether it's the fact I've got blonde hair or blue eyes or whatever, tongue piercing, they're just like, I don't like it. But I know where I stand with those people, and have 2 people that I absolutely idolize and I have, you know, the best friendships with, rather than trying to be fake for 8 people and pretend that my hair is brown and pretend that my eyes are green and that I don't have a piercing, and being really unhappy, and to have 2 potential people that could be really good friends of mine that I'm lying. Do you know what I mean? So it's
absolutely. Yeah.
It's the way that I've always seen it. But it does, I'm not going to like sit here and go, oh, it doesn't hurt. I don't have down days. I had a really, really crappy day only about 4 days ago. I had a bit of a mare and a bit of a meltdown. I'm just like, oh, I'm done with today. And but it's, you've got to remember, like, it's you can't have all the highs without all the lows. You know, otherwise it just it comes part and parcel, I think.
No, I'd agree with you, but I think that the key is, obviously, I'm no solution to mental health. I've my own stuff I deal with. I think if you have those days where you like, do you know, I'm just going to sit in my pants watching Netflix, eating what? Actually, do you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
just embrace it.
Yeah, there's no rule book anywhere which tells you what is right and what is wrong, and what your idea of chilling out and relaxing is could be my idea of hell. And so when you're trying to pigeonhole people into like, oh, go and have a nice bath and relax, I can't think of anything worse than sitting in my own bath water, just being literally sitting there in my dirty water going, yeah, I'm just thinking I would much rather like put some music on or go clubbing or just, you know, go to wherever, Starbucks, and just sit outside and people watch and, you know, just do something. But everybody is different, and that's okay. It's just the people that aren't okay with people being different. They're the ones that have got the issue. It's not actually us. It's the other people.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely bang on with that, really. And I think it's just building that bubble around you who are actually really going to support you. But actually, do you know what? It's not just about people saying, "Yeah, Jay, you're awesome," or "Dan, you're absolutely awesome." Actually, you sometimes need to surround yourself with them people where you go, "Dan, you're being a bit of a prick, mate. Let's get you back on track." Because
definitely.
And I think surrounding yourself with too many yes men is absolutely dangerous as well. But it is, isn't it? It's about getting, rather than a massive bubble, getting that close knit people who can really help each other out.
Yeah, it's really easy to tell someone, oh, you know, you look really nice. And it's really easy to say to someone, oh my God, I love that present, if you really like it. It's the most difficult thing in the world, looking at your friend across the table and they've got something in their teeth. Yeah. And it's that you're like, oh, there's no good time to say, like, and then but I am that person. I'll go, mate, teeth. It's like, you know, because I'd be mortified later on when they get home. All they're going to do is go, why didn't you tell me? And it's exactly the same with friendships and relationships. And, you know, I do call people out, and I know I have been, there's been a couple of situations in work where I've nearly lost my job over it. And I've lost friends over it because I can't deal with just the bullshit, to be honest, just of people that fail to, it's not even telling the truth, it's just to be genuine. Just, you know, if you don't like me for something, just tell me, just you know, just say it, rather than, you know, pretend. And I do think a lot of men especially do find that really hard, to be genuinely open and honest without wondering they're going to get stigmatized of being too, I don't know, feminine, or, you know, wussy, or, you know, that they can't cry, or they can't, you know, even like I saw a film the other day in the cinema randomly, and just made me think of this. And there was there was two younger guys sat in front of us, and I could see that this lad, like, it was Ghostbusters, and of all films, but at the end, there's something quite sad that happens. And I could see this young lad, like, at the side, like, just kind of, and he might have just had something in his eye, but I was behind him pretty much, like, my eyes welled up, because I was thinking about my dad, who I'd lost, and all that kind of stuff. And I was looking at him thinking, would it be really lovely if the girl just went, oh, baby, you all right? But she didn't. She went, you're not crying, are you? And I thought, and then that same girl does the things on Facebook saying, you know, real men should be able to talk to, and they should cry to. And I'm like, not when you're talking to them like that, they're not.
No, you know what exactly. I mean? Yeah, no, I agree. I think we've got so much work to do. We really have, really. And but trouble is, we can all fall foul of that as well, can't we? Like, I've been there because I've got two boys, and I remember one of my boys, he fell off. I can't remember. He just done something. And I was like, come on, just brush yourself down and get on with it. And, like, don't you cry. There's nothing to cry about. It's like, we just need to just change that. But I think, on the other hand, if I can just chuck this one back at you, I mean this, and because I'm not a crier.
No.
At all. But it doesn't bother me whether other people do. So I think it goes to that thing of, I think you've already said it in a different way. So, but it's just, especially when it comes down to mental health, especially with men, a lot of people are like, you get in touch with your feminine side, have a good cry, give us a cuddle. And I'm the kind of, like, Jay, do you want to go to the pub?
Yeah.
I'll have a chat with you, but don't you go hugging me. I don't like people touching me as it is. Together, I'm just not that type of person. So I think it's about, it's just, I don't know, it's just about listening and not judging. Yeah,
exactly. I've many, to be fair, the amount of conversations I have, I don't know if it's me, or if it is the gay thing, or the loyalty that I have to my hetero friends, but, like, I've quite a few straight mates that, you know, I'd never, it sounds like I'm outing them, not outing them in like a sexuality way, but like outing them in the fact that they've had conversations with me, and they have said to me many times, they're like, I wish I could talk to you like I talk to my lad mates. And I'm like, but I am one of your lad mates. And they're like, yeah, but you just,
yeah,
you're not, you're not one of the lads. You're still, you. And I was like, you mean I don't judge you? The fact that you feel, you know, you're going through this and you're going through this. And I think because being gay, you do have the, like the feminine side, and sometimes, not saying that we're all like pansies, like walking around with handbags, but I do have that, obviously, the, you know, I do have a lot of girl mates. I do understand sometimes how women think and work sometimes, which probably, you know, is my advantage of having girl mates. And I do understand sometimes they're emotionally, you know, crazy. And I think sometimes that helps with having straight male mates, because I can say to them, look, she's being like that because you're doing this. Can you see that? And they go, oh, whereas I think when they're with other straight lads, they sometimes, I think, they fail to kind of it's, oh, she's probably cheating, or she's probably doing this, or sometimes they don't pick it apart. Whereas I think sometimes it's where the term comes from. Like, obviously we have you normally have like your gay best friends. You do have like normally a girl. I mean, we have nicknames for it, and it's always like a lingo called a fag hag.
I've heard it.
Yeah, and I've had girls be like, oh, can I be your fag hag? And I'm like, no, sorry, I've got like 6 of them. Like, there's a queue. And but it's nice because I can be a lad, so to speak, and I play my PS5 and I can sit and I, you know, chat crap and go. I used to go fishing and, you know, going for walks and stuff like that. But I can sit with the girls and have a face pack and, you know, put a comedy on and, you know, go to the theatre or something and, you know, listen to them go on and on and on about how, you know, he doesn't do anything and blah, blah, blah. So it's quite nice having a happy medium sometimes. But yeah, it's a shame that there's not more men that don't have, like, you know, that companion that they can just say, look, I'm really struggling, mate. I'm really, really not good.
Well, I'm hoping one day it will slowly start. So I'm starting to see the odd people change. Nowhere near the scale I'd love to, but I can't change mental health. I can't change the world, but I can chip away a little bit.
Yeah,
that's the best I can do. But anyway, before we draw to a close, because we're just going into that 20-minute bit now anyway. So
yeah,
I know we normally end the video with just like, if somebody's watching this, I don't know, in this circuit, if they've been trolled online, they've just been, I don't want to say victimized because that makes you sound like a victim. Do you know what I'm trying to say? What would you say to that person if they're watching there and just things a bit much with whatever in the call? What would you say to them to do?
I think the easiest thing to do is remember that they've gone out of their way to write a comment to you, regardless if it's nice or nasty. You have affected them in some way, shape, or form. So take as a positive that they've actually, takes a lot for someone to actually have to, you know, really, you know, write what it is. So you think, you know, they've gone out of their day, you've affected them in some way. So you're doing something right to cause a reaction. But if it does get to the point that it is really serious, where it's bad, like, there are things out there to block and delete, and the police were really, really good. Like, if it gets serious, I mean, I got like a death threat, and that's when I was like, maybe I should say something, you know. But, you know, they can then monitor. Everyone has an IP address. Things can be monitored. People think you just send a snap or an Instagram and it's all hidden. Everything you put out, it works both ways. It is trackable, everything. And I think you just have to remember that it's really, 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 really hard sometimes to ignore all the love and the positivity and all the great comments you get and the likes on your video and this need for likes and subscribers and all this kind of stuff and views. And you just remember that one negative comment and try and switch it around in your head, because all it is just a troll. That is literally what it is. It's someone that's probably very unhappy, very miserable, not achieving anything. They probably don't even really mean what they're saying. There could be 12, there could be 60. You know,
that's a valid point. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And when you just, rather than seeing the enemy of the person you think it is, just picture it as like an 8-year-old writing it. It doesn't seem as important. You just think, do you know what? If an 8-year-old called me, you know, a faggot fairy, I'd tell them to go do one. Do you know what I mean? But you see it online and you think, oh, it must be this burly guy that's just come out of prison with a knife and he's saying it. And it probably isn't. It probably is some wrapped up little teen covered in acne that's actually got nothing better to do. Do you know what I mean? That makes me feel better.
Yeah.
You know.
That was a good call, my friend.
No worries. Thanks for doing this and asking me. It's been really lovely.
It's all good. Let me just hit the unrecord thing, Ibbage. Unrecord that button. 1 second.